It was supposed to be a simple night. Quiet streets. The kind of night where most people just want to get home, kick off their shoes, and rest. But for one man, the night would turn into a test of dignity, respect, and truth. Meet David Johnson, 52 years old, a quiet, humble man. To anyone passing by, he looked like just another black man walking home in his worn leather jacket, his head slightly lowered and his step steady. But David was far from ordinary. What nobody knew, not even the men about to confront him, was that David had once held one of the most respected military ranks in the United States Army. But tonight, none of that mattered. The flashing red and blue lights cut through the darkness. A police cruiser slowed beside him. "Hey, you!" one officer barked. "Where you headed this late, huh?" David paused, calm but weary. He'd been through this before. Too many times. "I'm just walking home. Officer, don't mean no trouble." But the cops weren't listening. Officer Miller, young, smug, maybe late 20s, stepped out with a grin. Well, look what we got here. Another one of you out at night where you don't belong." His partner, Officer Daniels, laughed. "What's in the bag, old man? Where you hiding?" David kept his voice steady. "It's just groceries. Nothing else." But Miller wasn't convinced. He grabbed the bag, spilling the contents on the ground. Bread, canned beans, milk, and eggs rolled across the sidewalk. Daniel smirked. What kind of tough guy carries eggs? They laughed, right in his face. But David didn't flinch. He'd face worse. Much worse. "You don't talk much, huh?" Miller pushed. "What are you, some washed-up vet? What were you, a janitor? A cook?" The laughter grew louder. David's silence only fueled their arrogance. He kept his eyes down, steady, waiting. "Come on, answer me." Daniel shouted, jabbing a finger into David's chest. And that's when it happened. David slowly raised his head, his eyes sharp, commanding, unshaken. The same eyes that once gave orders to men who'd seen battle. The same eyes that faced down enemies overseas. "I'm not what you think I am," David said quietly. "Oh, yeah." Miller sneered. "Then what are you?" David's lips curved into the faintest, most dangerous smile. "Lieutenant Colonel David Johnson, retired, United States Army, 25 years of service." The air shifted. The laughter stopped. For the first time, the officers hesitated. Daniels blinked, unsure if he'd heard correctly. Miller scoffed, but his voice cracked. "You're lying." David didn't argue. He simply reached into his jacket, pulled out a worn leather wallet, and flipped it open. Inside, shining under the streetlight, was his military ID, complete with his rank. Silence. The same men who mocked him now stared like deer caught in headlights. David's voice grew stronger, firmer, sharper, the voice of a leader. "You boys think respect is optional. You think uniforms give you power. But I wore a uniform long before you. And unlike you, I earned mine with sweat, blood, and honor." The shame on their faces was undeniable. A neighbor across the street had been recording the entire encounter on her phone. Every insult, every laugh, every second of humiliation. And now, every second of the truth revealed. Within days, the video spread. Headlines read, "Cops mock black veteran. Instantly regretted. Hero humiliated, but justice strikes back." The police department was forced to act. Miller and Daniels were placed under investigation, their careers hanging by a thread. And David, for the first time in years, the world remembered his name. He wasn't just a man walking home. He was a soldier, a leader, a protector, and now a symbol. The story of David Johnson carried a powerful truth. Never judge a person by the surface. Respect is not given by the color of a uniform or the color of someone's skin. True respect is earned through honor, sacrifice, and integrity. The cops had tried to strip him of dignity. Instead, they stripped themselves of theirs. But just when David thought the worst was behind him, a letter arrived in the mail, stamped with the seal of the U.S. Department of Defense. David froze as he read the words. "Lieutenant Colonel Johnson, your name has surfaced in connection with a classified operation from years ago. We need to talk. Urgently. His hands trembled. His past, the one he thought was buried, was knocking on his door. And what it revealed could change everything. The video of David Johnson, the black veteran humiliated by two arrogant cops, had spread like wildfire. The nation applauded him. The police officers who mocked him faced disciplinary action. Justice, it seemed, had been served. But David's story wasn't over, because one envelope, stamped with the seal of the U.S. Department of Defense, was about to drag him back into a world he thought he had left behind forever. David sat at his kitchen table, the letter trembling in his hands. Lieutenant Colonel Johnson, you are hereby requested for a confidential debrief concerning Operation Iron Shield. Classified matters have resurfaced. Immediate contact required. His heart pounded. Operation Iron Shield. A mission so secret, most soldiers never even heard of it. David had sworn an oath never to speak of what happened. And now, after all these years, they wanted him back? An unexpected visitor. The very next day, a black SUV pulled up outside David's modest home. Two men in dark suits stepped out. Their expressions were stern, cold, unreadable. Lieutenant Colonel Johnson? One asked. David straightened his back, that old military presence returning. Yes. Who's asking? Special Agent Carter. This is Agent Lee. We need to speak with you. Privately. David hesitated, then nodded. Come inside. The revelation. Once seated, Agent Carter wasted no time. Colonel, 3 names connected to Operation Iron Shield have recently turned up dead. 1 overseas, 2 here in the States. We believe it's a coordinated effort. Someone is eliminating anyone tied to that mission. David's chest tightened. And you think I'm next? Agent Lee's eyes narrowed. Not think. No, we intercepted chatter. Your name was mentioned. David leaned back, piecing it together. Wait, why now? Why after all these years? Carter exchanged a look with Lee. Then he spoke carefully. Because of the video. David froze. What video? The one with the cops. You went viral. Millions watched it. Your face, your name, is back in the public eye. Whoever is hunting survivors of Iron Shield just got the confirmation they needed. A chill ran through David's spine. Meanwhile, across town, Officer Miller, the same cop who mocked David, sat in a dingy bar. His career was in shambles. Suspension, investigations, his reputation ruined. But what David didn't know was that Miller had his own bitterness brewing. A shadowy figure slid into the booth beside him. Miller jumped. The stranger's voice was low, dangerous. You had a run-in with Lieutenant Colonel Johnson, didn't you? Miller frowned. Yeah, what's it to you? The stranger placed a thick envelope on the table. Let's just say we're very interested in men like him. And if you want your career back, you'll help us. Miller's eyes widened. Inside the envelope, money. More than he'd ever seen. Who are you? Miller asked. The stranger leaned closer. Let's just say we're the people he hoped would never find him. Back at his home, David paced the floor. Agents Carter and Lee laid it all out. You need protection. We can relocate you under federal protection until this blows over, Carter said. But David shook his head. I didn't survive war zones just to hide in my own country. If someone's coming for me, I want to face them head on. Lee frowned. Colonel, this isn't just about you anymore. Anyone close to you, neighbors, friends, they could all be in danger. David's jaw tightened. He thought of Mrs. Henderson down the street, who always brought him pies, and the young kids who waved when he passed by. He couldn't let his past put them in harm's way. That night, David was jolted awake by the sound of glass shattering. He grabbed the baseball bat from under his bed and moved cautiously through the dark house. On his front porch, taped to the broken window, was a note, 4 words, written in bold black ink. You can't hide forever. David's hands trembled as he read the words. He turned his head and caught a glimpse of movement in the distance, a figure slipping into the shadows. But what froze his blood wasn't the note. It was a symbol at the bottom of the page, a military insignia, one that only those tied to Operation Iron Shield would recognize. And in that moment, David realized a terrifying truth. This wasn't just about his past. The enemy wasn't overseas. They were already here, watching, waiting, and closer than he ever imagined. TOB continued. Subscribe for more.